At the beginning of the drama, the female lead Shuang's younger brother Junjae is shown, who is busy making a machine. His college final exams are going on, so when he hears someone coming from outside, he quickly picks up a dictionary and starts reading. The female lead Shuang, who is a hardworking girl, enters through the door. Seeing her brother, she understands that he is not studying, so she angrily starts hitting him. Just then, their dad arrives there. He calms Shuang down and takes her outside. After this, the drama's male lead, Kdrama, is shown. He has mysophobia, so he takes great care of cleanliness. He is the owner of a company that makes cleaning robots. He has installed a scan system with which he can see nearby germs. Then Shuang is shown. She is quite late for her job, so she leaves home without having breakfast. Meanwhile, Kdrama also leaves home to attend a seminar. When his car is stopped at a red light on the road, Shuang also passes by there. Suddenly, due to someone's push, she collides with Kdrama's car. Germs from her hands get on Kdrama's car. Seeing this, his condition deteriorates. His driver tells him, "Remain calm," and says, "I will send the car to get sanitized." After this, in the seminar, he talks about his upcoming robot, Topix, which Shuang is also watching on TV. After this, Kdrama, upon his mom's insistence, goes to a restaurant to meet a girl, Wang. He scans her fully, and seeing a dog hair on her collar, his mysophobia gets triggered, so he starts to leave from there without informing her. Shuang works at the same restaurant. She is very happy to see Kdrama there because she had interviewed for a job at his company a few days ago. So she stops Kdrama and starts praising his company and products, saying, "We are very similar," to which Kdrama says, "We both can't be similar. Look at your hairstyle and everything," and sanitizes the area around her. Before the sanitizer could make Shuang sneeze, he puts a piece of bread in her mouth and leaves from there. After this, Kdrama's mom comes to his house to meet him, where she asks him about Wang. Kdrama makes an excuse, "I had some urgent work," but his mom knows he is lying. At this very moment, Kdrama realizes that Topix is not there. On the other side, Shuang has come for a food delivery below Kdrama's building. She sees Topix there, so thinking that someone has thrown it in the trash just like that, she puts it in her bag. Kdrama comes down looking for Topix, but Shuang, thinking the food is Kdrama's, extends the it towards him. But Kdrama, seeing so many germs on the food, starts sanitizing it, but it goes into Shuang's eyes. Kdrama wants to help her, but because of the germs, he puts some money near her and leaves from there. When Shuang reaches the bus stop, the bus has already left, so she mistakes a boy for a rider and goes home with him. After reaching home, she feels like the boy is following her, so a fight happens between them. Just then, her dad comes there and tries to calm them down, but he gets injured in this. Because of this, Shuang, with the help of that boy, brings dad home, where she finds out that this boy is their new neighbor, Jian. On the other side, Kdrama posts the news of Topix being missing on his social media, announcing, "A reward of 50,000 will be given to the person who finds and returns it." Meanwhile, Shuang gets a job at Kdrama's company, and here, Junji sees Topix in Shuang's bag. He picks it up and takes it to his room. Before he opens it, he sees Kdrama's company logo on Topix. When he searches on social media, he sees the reward on it and thinks that this is a good way to earn money. So he calls Kdrama and tells him, "I will return Topix to you at a bar." After this, due to Dad's injury, there is a toss between the sister and brother to go to Dad's job in his place, which Shuang loses. So she goes to the job. There, while she is collecting trash and leaving, she collides with Kdrama's car and all the trash falls on his car. Seeing so many germs, he gets very angry at Shuang. Many people gather there, including Shuang's brother, who had come to return Topix to Kdrama. But seeing Kdrama's behavior, he changes his mind because he feels that he has degraded his sister. So he comes home, blocks Kdrama's number, and does not return Topix either. On the other side, Kdrama sees Shuang picking up Topix in the CCTV footage. Meanwhile, Shuang is thinking, "How will I apologize to Kdrama?" Just then, Kdrama comes there and, showing her the CCTV footage, asks about Topix. He also tells her, "I received a call from this number, and the caller said they would return Topix." Seeing the number, Shuang understands that all this is her brother's doing, and she tells Kdrama, "I am a respectable woman, and I will return it to you." After this, Shuang comes home and, while beating her brother, asks him about Topix, who tells her about it. On the other side, Kdrama is sitting in the office with the HR manager. He asks him, "Why did you hire Shuang? I don't think she is eligible for this seat." To which the manager tells him, "Give me 3 months' time, I will prove that she is the best for this seat." Then, while leaving, the manager tells Kdrama, "Your grandpa will be very happy with your success." To which he says, "I don't think so. He can never be happy with me." Meanwhile, Shuang, at the insistence of her seniors, participates in a live stream. but due to too much spicy food, she starts having a stomachache. After this, Shuang goes to Gu Ran's office and returns Topics to him, but when she is going back, she faints due to the stomachache. Gu Ran takes her to the hospital and stays there with her till late at night. Then Dong, who is Gu Ran's personal assistant, comes and tells him, I have informed Shuang's family, so we should leave. So Gu Ran leaves from there. The next day is Shuang's first day at the office. She is doing her work when Gu Ran comes there. He is getting some smell from there. He asks Shuang, are you smelling? To which she says, no. Just then, her eyes fall on Gu Ran's shoes, where some garbage was stuck which was smelling. Meanwhile, Gu Ran's eyes also fall on his shoe, and he runs to his office and changes his shoes. After this, he is changing his shirt when Shuang comes there. She gets a little embarrassed and covers her eyes with her hands. On the other side, Gu Ran also gets flustered and quickly wears his shirt, but he buttons the shirt incorrectly, front to back, and asks Shuang, why have you come? To which she says, thank you, Gu Ran. I saw you just before I fainted. Then he leaves from there. After this, when he is throwing the old shoes in the dustbin, he hears a voice from the ladies' washroom where some lady is saying, I got a job in the office, now I will try to get close to Gu Ran. Just then, Shuang comes out of the washroom, so Gu Ran thinks. Shuang was saying all this. Then Wang comes to Gu Ran's office to meet him. While drinking coffee, a little coffee spills. Shuang comes to clean it. He behaves with Wang in front of her in such a way that she might get a little jealous, but Shuang does not react like that at all because she doesn't have that kind of attention. While leaving, Wang asks Gu Ran for dinner, but he says no. After this, when Gu Ran is in the lab, Shuang starts cleaning the lab glass, upon which Gu Ran thinks, she is there for my attention, although one could not see inside through the glass. Gu Ran comes very close to the glass and starts looking at her. At this point, he accidentally presses the transparent button. Shuang, seeing Gu Ran near her, gets scared and falls backward. Then, while leaving the lab, Gu Ran tells Shuang, work carefully. There, she talks to Hu Yu and Wu Yan, whom she likes quite a lot. After this, while going home, she sees Yan, who is telling a girl, we should break up now. That girl leaves from there. Shuang's bag accidentally falls, so Xian, seeing the cleaning wiper, asks her, do you do cleaning work? To which Shuang tells him, yes, but please don't tell Dad. Meanwhile, Gu Ran sees Shuang's face in the washroom mirror, upon which he is surprised and thinks, why am I remembering her? The next day, when Shuang goes to the office, everyone is gathered. She asks Hu Yu, what happened? To which he tells, I accidentally left ostrich meat here yesterday, now it's smelling, but no one is ready to pick it up. Upon which, Shuang steps forward and cleans everything. Everyone appreciates her for this and asks, how did you do all this? So Shuang says, I can't smell. Meanwhile, Gu Ran comes there and says, an employee in my company who cannot smell is not eligible. To which Shuang says, but I can do this work very well. After this, to test her, he sends very smelly food to Shuang for lunch. As soon as she opens it, everyone else runs away from there, but she reacts as if she can't smell at all and eats the food. After this, Gu Ran tells her to pick up smelly socks, but she picks them up without reacting. After this, he puts peanuts in her shelf, which makes all her clothes smell a lot, but she wears them without reacting. On her way back, Shan comes to pick her up, seeing which Gu Ran feels quite jealous. But Shuang goes with him. Due to the strong smell from her clothes, Shan brings her home, where she changes her clothes so that her dad doesn't suspect anything. Meanwhile, Gu Ran, seeing a cotton bud in his office, orders, Shuang, come and clean my office. On the other side, Shuang calls her brother and asks, where are you? So he says, I am at the academy. But from the voices in the background, Shuang understands that he is lying, so she is coming down the stairs to find him. Meanwhile, she gets a call from Dong, but she slips on the stairs. Hearing her scream, Dong tells Gu Ran she is in some trouble. Gu Ran quickly gets into the car and goes towards her house. In the next scene, Shuang's best friend Zuyan is shown, who has come to the market to buy her beauty product. She is surprised to see Junji there. Then he tells her, my exam preparation is not good at all, and I have come here to support my family. Zuyan motivates him a lot. Meanwhile, Shuang and Xian arrive there. Shuang moves towards Junji to hit him, but Zuyan saves him. On the way back, due to pain in Shuang's foot, Xian picks her up. So she just keeps looking at Xian's face, to which Xian tells her, am I that handsome? On the other side, Gu Ran arrives outside Shuang's house. He is feeling nervous seeing so many people around. Meanwhile, Shuang and Xian arrive there. She asks Gu Ran, how come you are here? To which he says, why were you shouting on the phone? So Shuang replies, I slipped on the stairs. To which Gu Ran tells her, then you should rest at home, and leaves from there. Later, when Xian is applying a bandage to Shuang's foot, he asks, what about Gu Ran? to which Shuang tells about his strange behavior. He doesn't like me at all. After this, Guran is talking to his doctor. He tells him, I am repeatedly coming into contact with a girl who does not live in a clean and tidy manner at all. Hearing this, the doctor advises him, stay away from the girl because your phobia could get worse from this. The next day, when Shuang comes to the office, she collides with Lu, but neither of them notices. Lu goes to Wang, who tells him, we urgently need a model. Hearing this, he thinks of Shuang. So he meets her and offers her the job, but Shuang refuses him and leaves from there. Lu, to convince her, follows her to the parking lot, where Guran is sitting inside his car. He overhears their conversation. Lu tells her, work with me, you will get good money. But Shuang says, I like my cleaning job. Saying this, she goes and sits inside her van. Lu goes in the elevator with Guran, where he notices that Lu is calling Shuang again to work, which he doesn't like at all. And he starts scolding Lu for his behavior with Shuang. After this, he also pulls Shuang towards him and takes her away from there. Now here, Shuang is trying to understand what the matter is. As they are both going down in the elevator, Shuang accidentally falls on Guran, causing their faces to come close, and they kiss. Seeing this, everyone standing there is shocked. Shuang starts apologizing to Guran, but suddenly he feels dizzy and faints right there. After this, in the hospital, Shuang is standing there worried. When Guran regains consciousness and Shuang goes to say sorry to him, Guran says, I don't want to see you. At the same time, Wang also starts getting angry at Shuang, saying, when you knew that Guran has mysophobia, why did you do that? She scolds her a lot. Then Guran gestures, and Dong takes Wang away from there. On the other side, Shuang is worried about Guran. She thinks, I should make soup for him so that his fracture heals quickly. Her brother is quite surprised to see her and thinks, Shuang has never tried to cook? The first time she tries to make soup herself, but it turns out so bad that Fan vomits after tasting it. The second time, with Xian's help, the soup turns out quite good. But when Shuang tells him the soup is for Guran, Xian becomes a little sad. After this, Shuang reaches the hospital with the soup, but just as she is about to enter Guran's room, she hears Guran's grandpa's voice from inside, who is scolding him a lot. He says, if Guran continues to be sick like this, he won't be able to do anything in the future. After Grandpa leaves, Shuang goes inside, gives the soup, says sorry, and leaves from there. Guran becomes happy because of Shuang's arrival. In the next scene, Wang is drinking at a bar. A boy who likes her comes there. He offers her a drink and talks to her. Wang says, no one has ever ignored me like Guran does. On the other side, Guran is talking to the doctor in the hospital. The doctor tells him, you have come in close contact with a person, after which your tests are not coming out right. The doctor says, nothing is visible right now, but there could be side effects in the future. So, you should stay away from people. On the other side, Zhuyan is with Shuang, where she asks her, is something going on between you and Xian? Shuang denies it and says, I just have to focus on my work. The next day, Shuang again goes to the hospital with soup. There, she sees that her colleagues are giving a presentation for some company. When they both come out, Shuang asks them, what is happening? To which they tell, we had to prepare a presentation for a big company, but due to Guran's hospitalization, the work couldn't be done, so our project is about to be cancelled. Shuang explains to everyone, and they all start working on the project for the electric group. After a lot of hard work, they prepare an amazing presentation. After this, they go to the company to give the presentation. The receptionist tells them to wait, so Wu Yan eats the snacks lying there, after which he gets a stomachache and has to go to the toilet. When they are called inside to give the presentation, Wu Yan has not yet returned from the toilet. So Uncle Shi tells Hu Yu and Dong, you guys go inside, I'll go check on Wu Yan. On the other side, when the guard asks Dong for ID, Dong gets a little nervous. When his ID is scanned, it is revealed that he has a criminal record under his name. Hearing this, Dong immediately says, I am not an employee of the company, but just a driver. So he is not allowed to go inside. Therefore, only Shuang goes inside. While giving the presentation, she becomes very nervous. When she gives the introduction, everyone gets upset because her voice is trembling. Just then, Guran comes there and takes the entire presentation into his own hands. Everyone likes his presentation a lot. Later, Guran meets his competitor, Mr. Jiang, who is the CEO of a company. It is clear from their conversation that Mr. Jiang does not like Guran at all. He had deliberately mixed something in the snacks which made people sick, and he had also closed the washroom so that Guran's presentation would be ruined. After a little argument, when Mr. Jiang and Guran are going down the stairs, a man tries to throw dirty water on Guran. Shuang comes in between, and the water falls on her. Seeing this, Gu Ran gets upset and tells her, "Why did you do that?" So that she doesn't feel cold, Gu Ran puts his coat on her. Later, he drops Shuang home in his car. In the next scene, Gu Ran and Dong are in a shop where they have come to buy new clothes because Shuang's clothes got dirty with water. Both are confused about what dress to buy. Just then, a shop assistant asks them, "Which of you will wear this dress?" Dong tells, "We are buying this dress for someone else." Hearing this, the shop assistant says, "I can help you." After buying the dress, he comes to Shuang's house. Gu Ran comes straight inside, and seeing Jian says, "How are you here?" Jian says, "I can ask you the same question." Then he goes straight to Shuang and gives her a dress. Before both start arguing, Shuang says, "I need to rest," and both of them leave from there. After this, going to her room, Shuang sees that Gu Ran had brought a very beautiful white dress for her. The next day, when she starts going to her job wearing the same dress, Jian sees her and says, "You are looking very good." But as soon as Shuang tells him Gu Ran gave this dress, he changes his statement and says, "This dress is not that special, but it looks very good on you." After this, Shuang leaves for her work. Upon reaching the company, she meets Hu, who praises her upon seeing her and asks, "Why are you wearing such a dress today?" Shuang tells, "Today I am going to meet someone important." Just then, Gu Ran also arrives there, who overhears this and becomes very happy. Seeing Shuang, Gu Ran praises her, "You are looking very good." She returns his suit to him. When he takes his suit to the office, he finds a thank you note written by Shuang in it. He thinks, the important person she was talking about meeting was perhaps myself. But at that time, Shuang is in front of everyone. Just then, Dong brings soup for him from a restaurant, but Gu Ran doesn't like the smell of the soup at all. Then he remembers that when Shuang had brought soup for him, he had finished it all at once and had liked it very much. After this, he goes to the employees area where everyone's cups are kept on a shelf. There, he replaces Shuang's cup with a similar-looking new cup. But just then, Shuang comes there and asks, "What are you doing here?" Gu Ran says, "I came for an inspection." When Shuang picks up her cup, she sees that it looked quite new. But Gu Ran, to distract her, asks, "How is your work going?" Shuang says, "I had to go to a new customer's house for cleaning, but that customer doesn't let me inside. He was a tennis player, but now he is in a wheelchair due to an injury." Hearing this, Gu Ran says, "You shouldn't get stuck in just one job. You should also pay attention to other tasks." Hearing this, Shuang leaves for her work. After that, Shuang goes to Gu Ran's office. Gu Ran says, "If you want to say something, you can, because we are both alone." Shuang says, "I want to take a half-day leave because today I am going to meet an important person." Hearing this, Gu Ran becomes sad because he thinks, that important person is myself. After Shuang leaves, Gu Ran throws the thank you note she gave him into the dustbin. On the other side, Shuang leaves the office and goes straight to her mom's grave. There, she talks to her mother for a while and tells her, "I'm perfectly fine. Now I'm working in a company called Clean First, but maybe my department will close within 3 months." Saying all this, she gets emotional and starts crying. After this, Shuang is cooking food at home, but she can't reach something from the upper shelf. So Xian helps her and advises her, "You should get the shelf lowered a bit." This gives Shuang an idea, and she goes to her uncle. Actually, she wanted to make such shelves for that athlete too, from where he could easily get things. Uncle praises Gu Ran, so Shuang says, "I also like Gu Ran." Hearing this, Uncle is surprised. Gu Ran, who is coming downstairs, also hears this and goes back upstairs, very happy. On the other side, Shuang says, "I like Mr. Gu Ran because he gives me good money." On the other side, Gu Ran's mother shows him a video so that he might take some interest in Wang. The video talks about love. Gu Ran listens to all this carefully and leaves quietly. Then Shuang goes to the athlete's house, but he doesn't let her in. Due to the work not being completed, she has to apologize to everyone. Then she goes to Gu Ran's office and starts cleaning. Just then, Gu Ran comes there, but Shuang is under the table so he can't see her. Dong asks Gu Ran, "Do you like Shuang? Because you give her a lot of attention." Gu Ran says, "It's nothing like that. I just keep an eye on her so that if she makes a mistake, I can fire her from the company." Hearing this, Shuang gets angry and comes out from under saying, "I am giving my 100%, yet you want to fire me." And she leaves from there. Gu Ran wants to stop her, but says nothing. Shuang goes home where her family welcomes her. The next day, when Shuang is working in the office, Dong is bringing Gu Ran's suit. She takes it from him and keeps it in Gu Ran's office, upon which Dong is quite surprised. When she returns after keeping his suit, she meets Gu Ran. He tells her, "I didn't mean what you're thinking," but she says, "I know what you meant." To take revenge, she puts a dirty sock in his suit, sprays cleaner on his clothes, and puts playing cards in his pocket to insult him. Gu Ran understands that Shuang is doing all this to take revenge on him. After this, Shuang goes to a bar with everyone. While drinking, she tells everyone, "We should play a game in which everyone has to say bad things about Gu Ran." Shuang says, "He is very annoying." After this, everyone says something bad about him, but Dong says, "Whatever he is, he always helps everyone." Shuang thinks, "Maybe I am thinking wrong about Gu Ran." In the next scene, Wang calls Dong and asks about lunch with Guran, to which he tells her Guran is very busy today. On the other side, Guran was looking for dust all over the office so that he could call Shuang to the office. Finally, he sees a little dust in one place, but some other employee comes to clean it because Shuang had gone out of the office to do some client's work. At lunchtime, Shuang buys a strawberry shake for Guran. Guran is also watching her from behind the shelf. He also buys the same shake. When Shuang sees the same bottle on her table, she goes to ask Guran, "Why did you return that shake?" But seeing that bottle in his hand too, she understands that both of them bought the same shake for each other, and both start smiling looking at each other. After this, both are drinking strawberry milk, and because Guran is overthinking, Shuang starts feeding him dumplings with her hands. While eating dumplings, Guran apologizes to Shuang for that day and says, "Shuang works so hard, yet how does she remain so happy?" Then he says, "I misunderstood you in the beginning, so I wanted to fire you, but now I don't want anything like that." In the course of conversation, Shuang tells him about the athlete, that he is still not letting her inside the house, due to which she has not been able to clean that house yet. So Guran tells Shuang, perhaps that man's self-esteem is very low and he doesn't want to show his weakness because he wants people to treat him like a normal person. Then he advises Shuang, you should try treating the athlete normally. On the other side, Guran returns to his office and sees that the Baijiu Group's presentation file is open on his computer. Seeing this, he doesn't understand who opened his computer. After this, the next morning, Shuang goes to the athlete's house where his mom opens the door because the athlete is sleeping. His mom tells her, leave from there, but Shuang starts cleaning. After a while, the athlete also comes and says, you, leave. But Shuang says, I have done half the work and I can't leave the work unfinished. While working, she also asks that man for help. In the beginning, he helps, but when a little more help is asked for, he refuses and says, I have paid you, so you should do the work. Shuang says, if you want me to leave quickly, you will have to help. I was also an athlete, and I know that athletes never give up. After finishing work, Shuang goes to a store where she has come to buy strawberry milk because she likes it, but the salesgirl refuses to take money from her and says, this is free for you because you are a lucky customer. The next day, Guran is waiting for Shuang at the bus stand. He tells the driver, the bus arrives and people get off. Everyone takes a bicycle one by one. Guran saves one bicycle. Then Shuang comes there and asks, what are you doing there? He lies, my car has gone for repair. Shuang says, I kept my bicycle there because every time the bicycle used to get stolen. She tells Guran, you also borrow a bicycle, but Guran doesn't have a card. So Shuang makes him sit behind her bicycle and both ride to the office. Just then, Dong also arrives there with the car. So Shuang says, the car was broken, wasn't it? So Dong says, the car was fine. Hearing this, Shuang gets confused and thinks, why did Guran lie? Then she goes to get strawberry milk again, but the salesgirl gives it to her for free again. Shuang asks, why are you giving it for free? So she tells, your boyfriend had bought many milkshakes for you. Hearing which, she gets quite confused and thinks, who is doing all this? Going to the company, she also gives a milk bottle to Guran. But Guran is upset because Jiang's company got the Baijiu Group's project. Then he calls and asks, is Mr. Lin available for a meeting or not? He is then told, Mr. Lin is busy, so he cannot meet him. After this, Shuang makes a plan to kidnap Mr. Lin and arrange a meeting, but Guran refuses this plan. He says, Zhang's plan matches our plan. Maybe someone has stolen our plan. The next day, they somehow set up a meeting where Shuang finds Mr. Lin, who is drinking with Li. She tells them, Zhang copied our plan. Zhang tries to silence her, but Guran comes and pushes him and starts taking Shuang away from there. Meanwhile, Li takes a picture of them together. After going outside, Shuang asks, why did you do all this? So Guran says, in business, it's not possible to say everything clearly. Now, because Guran is feeling hungry, Shuang takes him to her house for dinner. The house is messy, but he has dinner. They have a funny argument during their conversation. After dinner, Xian says, you should go home. Guran says, I need to talk about work. So Xian says, you can do it tomorrow too. So Guran says, this is not your house, so you can leave anytime. Then Xian takes Guran outside the house to talk to him and tells him, I am your therapist. At first, Guran doesn't believe it because he had only been taking sessions from him over the phone for so many days. Then Xian tells him, your symptoms are getting very bad. I have come here taking a risk because I like Shuang. Guran doesn't give any reply and leaves. The next day, someone has made Guran's old video viral in which he ignores Shuang, due to which his image is badly affected. On the other side, Zhang comes to meet Wang and says, a new product is being launched, in which I need your help. Then he shows her the image of that product, and also shows her the pic of Shuang and Guran that Li had taken for him. Wang doesn't like this at all and refuses Zhang, telling him, leave from there. As he is leaving, he gets a message. As you said, the video has been made viral. Then we understand and think Zhang had made the video viral. On the other side, Dong is watching Wang's live stream while having dinner. A comment comes which says, "I know your address, I will wait for you at night." Dong is worried about Wang. So the next morning, he follows her while jogging. He thinks that a man who is walking with his face hidden is dangerous. When that man tries to catch Wang, Dong fights with him. In between, Wang gets a knife scratch on her hand, and the man runs away. On the other side, Shuang is recording a video in which she tells everyone, Guran is innocent. In the beginning, I didn't know him, and like everyone else, I thought he was bad. But as I got to know him more, I found out what a good and hardworking person he is. He seems quite rude from the outside, but from the inside, he is a kind-hearted person. She's telling everyone good things about Guran, who is standing right there listening to everything. He smiles looking at her, and he remembers the moments he spent with Shuang, and he can't stop himself and moves towards Shuang where he kisses her without saying anything. In that moment, Shuang just keeps looking at him, and he leaves from there without saying anything. Shuang is also shocked about what is happening. On the other side, Wang informs the police about the incident and also applies a bandage to Dong. On the other side, Junjae asks Xian, "What should I do to impress Juyan?" Jian thinks for a bit and tells, "There is a cafe near the office where she probably comes every day. If you go there every day, maybe she will start liking you from seeing your face repeatedly. There, you will also get a chance to talk to her." Junji says, "I don't have enough money to go to the cafe every day." Xian gives him an idea. "If you want, you can apply for a part-time job there." He likes this idea. After this, when Gu Ran goes to the office the next day, Dong shows him files, but his attention was not on work. He was just thinking about the kiss. On the other side, Shuang, while working, is also just thinking about him. When she is cleaning, she drops something and shyly goes outside. Now she thinks, what did this kiss mean? So she decides to talk to Guran. She gathers courage and goes to Guran's office and asks him, what did that kiss mean? Guran acts as if he did nothing. Just then Dong comes there, so Shuang asks him, "Do you hate Dong?" Guran says, "No." To this, Shuang asks, "Do you do this with Dong too?" Dong cannot understand their conversation. Shuang also asks strange questions and leaves from there. Then Shuang meets Juyan and asks her, "If someone suddenly kisses you, what could it mean?" Juyan says, "Maybe because of hormones, or he could also do it just for fun." Shuang says, "He doesn't kiss everyone like that." Then she tells Juyan, "Someone kissed me yesterday." She is shocked to hear this and says, "If you are in love with someone, you should dress up well." But Shuang says, "The one who kissed me doesn't love me, because when I asked, he said, 'I kissed you because I don't hate you.'" Juyan tells her, "Boys confess first, so you wait." Then, the next day, Shuang goes to the office wearing a beautiful hair clip, but upon reaching the office, she sees that Guran has not come today. Then Uncle Shi tells Guran's robot is broken, so his house will have to be cleaned. Then when Shuang goes to his house, she sees everything is already clean. When Shuang is cleaning, she is staring intently at Guran's photo, and just then, he arrives there. Seeing Guran, Shuang gets scared and is about to fall, but Guran saves her. After this, Shuang goes to clean the kitchen where she is about to open a cupboard in which Guran has hidden her cup. Guran stops her and somehow sends her back from there. Then when Shuang is going home, she meets Jian, who is jogging. He gives her an ice cream he is holding in his hand and asks, "Do you get tired from working so much?" To which Shuang says, "I have to support my family and the company too." To which Xian says, "You are just an employee. If you leave, it won't make a difference." Shuang says, "You don't know anything about the company." While talking, Xian, to clear himself, says, "The girls who came to my house were all patients because I am a therapist." Shuang asks, "If you are really a therapist, then what does a kiss mean?" But he says nothing. On the other side, Junjae meets Juyan, who tells him, "I am going grocery shopping." So he follows her to the grocery store and slowly whispers in her ear, "Do you have feelings for me in your heart?" Juyan shyly runs away from there. On the other side, Guran's mom tells him, "You marry Wang." Guran agrees and consents to go for lunch. Shuang overhears all this and gets angry. On the other side, at lunch, he tells Wang, "I don't like you." Wang had already understood, and she tells Guran, "Dong saved my life," upon which Guran understands that Wang is interested in Dong. On the other side, Shuang's key is left at her house, so Xian says, "I will get it from Shuang's office." But Shuang's dad also insists on going along. Xian doesn't want her dad to know that she is a cleaner, so he pretends his bike is broken, but her dad says, "We will take a taxi and go together." Then, when they both reach Shuang's office, Shuang is cleaning the office glass. Xian quickly gets out of the taxi and puts his shirt over Shuang's cleaner jacket. They pretend that they are a couple and tell Dad, "We like each other," upon which Shuang's dad is convinced. Guran overhears everything and gets very upset. On the other side, Shuang is also thinking, if he likes Wang, then why did he kiss me? She goes to Guran's office to talk to him clearly and says, why did you kiss me? What does it mean? Guran is unable to answer, and Shuang angrily leaves from there. On the other side, Wang receives a robot parcel which has Dong's number on it. She calls him home so that he can show her how to use the robot, but actually, she wants to spend some time with Dong. Dong comes and shows how the robot works. When he is about to leave, Wang stops him to offer water, but just then, Wang trips and falls on him. Wang, lying on him, just keeps looking at him. Just then, Guran calls, so Dong quickly leaves from there. Guran asks Uncle Lee about Shuang, to which he tells she has gone to an apartment for cleaning, but she should have been here by now. Guran gets worried and calls her, where a lot of noise is coming from the background. Guran gets worried and goes there, but a voice comes from inside, don't come here. Guran thinks she is in trouble and breaks open the gate and comes inside. But Shuang is perfectly fine. Actually, she was working at a music band's house, and these were the lyrics of their song. Then he takes Shuang with him. Sitting in the car, Shuang sees that his hand is injured from breaking the door, so she bandages his hand. After this, Shuang, in conversation, tells him, the soup I gave you was taught by Xian. Guran says, in the future, don't learn anything from Xian. Shuang also says, then take help from your girlfriend, and leaves from there. After this, Shuang is at home, and they are all sitting and deciding Junji's career. Shuang says Junji should choose a career in which he is interested, like a field related to mechanical or technology, to which he says, I have decided that I will become a teacher. Her dad says, the tuition fees for becoming a teacher are very expensive, but Shuang says, don't worry about the money. I have saved some money for Junji's education, and I will help. Then in the next scene, Shuang is in the office where Hu tells her, someone has again published fake news about Mr. Guran. It says that Mr. Guran broke into an apartment to save someone, but someone spiced up that incident and made it news. On the other side, Guran tells Dong, this matter was known only to a few members of the company, so whoever is leaking this news could be someone from inside the company. Dong looks at Guran a bit angrily as if suspecting him. Guran says, I can never suspect Dong, because you are one of the people I trust the most. Dong says, I will help you find the real person. After this, it is decided in the shareholders' meeting that the manual department, where cleaners and others work, will be cancelled. Shuang is also among them. Guran goes to Shuang and says, if you want, I can get you transferred to another department. But Shuang refuses. When Shuang is packing her things, the athlete whose house she used to go to for cleaning comes there. He gives her a gift and says, thank you. Because of you, I gained so much confidence that I am now participating in the Paralympics. Shuang congratulates him. After this, when Shuang is going out of the house, she meets Guran, who has brought clothes for her. Shuang asks, why did you come so far alone? So Guran says, I had to say something. Then he hugs Shuang and congratulates her on her relationship with Xian, to which she says, Xian and I have no relationship. We both just lied to fool Dad so he wouldn't find out that I do cleaning work. Hearing all this, Guran becomes happy. Just then, Shuang's dad comes, who overhears all this and chases her with a broom. Seeing this, Guran starts smiling. After this, Dong and Guran together catch the girl who was working for Zhang and stealing their company's plans. Guran warns the girl, if you do this again, no mercy will be shown to you. After this, Guran finds out on the phone that they have got the contract again. Everyone becomes happy with this news. On the other side, Shuang is working in a restaurant. Guran's mom recognizes her and tells her, you work at Guran's house. At first, Shuang refuses, but when she finds out that she will get 3 times more salary, she agrees. But the condition is that she will have to live in Guran's house, which Shuang agrees to. So Shuang goes home and lies, I got a job in Shanghai, so I will have to live there. Then she packs her things and goes to Guran's house. Before leaving, she gives Xian a power bank and says, take care of my family in my absence. After this, when she reaches Guran's apartment, he asks her, why did you bring so little luggage? Shuang tells, I came by bus, so I couldn't bring much luggage, and I don't plan to stay long either. Guran says, just as Dong manages the company, Shuang will have to manage the house, so you will have to stay long. Guran tells her all the house rules and also gives her a new dress. Guran, pretending to drink water, comes to the kitchen to see Shuang. Shuang is cutting onions. Guran, watching her, pretends to drink water, but the glass is empty. Here, Shuang accidentally rubs her eye with her hand, and due to the onion, her eyes start burning. Guran helps her clean her eyes. Then, when Shuang is in her room, she tells Juyan, Guran was secretly watching me, but Juyan doesn't pay attention because she has gone to watch a movie with Junjie. Junjie also brings another girl, Zhuyan feels jealous seeing both of them together. On the other side, Guran and Shuang go shopping because he had noticed that the house slippers were big for Shuang. The store girl, mistaking them for a couple, suggests couple dresses. Shuang says, "I am not his girlfriend." The store girl says sorry and says, "I didn't know you were his wife." Then she says, "Couple dresses will be cheaper," and asks them their favorite colors, upon which Shuang takes pink and black. Then when they come home, Shuang asks, "Where should I keep the slippers?" Guran says, "Those were bought for you." To which Shuang says, "Thank you," and starts trying on the slippers. So Guran tells her, everything that comes from the store is sanitized first. In the next scene, Dong comes to Guran's house, and seeing Shuang coming out of the bathroom, is shocked and asks, "What are you doing here?" Shuang tells, "I have come here to work." Dong misunderstands that she is living with Guran and says, "I have come at the wrong time," and says, "Sorry," and leaves, upon which she asks Guran about Dong leaving like this. So Guran comes close to her. Before he kisses her, Shuang gets scared and goes into the room from the side. Her heart is beating fast. She lies down on the bed to sleep. That same night, Shuang dreams that she is kissing Guran. Just then, she wakes up because her dad calls. Jian asks her, "How is Beijing?" Shuang says, "The weather is good," but actually, she is lying. Just then, the news shows that a storm has hit Beijing. Xian understands and thinks Shuang lied. So the next day, he goes to Shuang's office, but from there, he finds out that she has left the job. Then he goes straight to Guran's house. As soon as Shuang opens the door and sees him, she gets scared. Just then, Guran also comes and asks, "What are you doing here?" So he says, "I have come to take Shuang back." But Shuang explains to him, "Guran needs me now, and I haven't even told Dad that I am working here." Hearing all this, he agrees, but puts one condition: "I will also stay here with you." To this, Guran says, "You cannot stay here without any reason." So Xian says, "Guran is my patient, and I have to stay here and take care of him so that Shuang staying here doesn't cause him to suffer any side effects." But Guran says, "I am perfectly fine, and I don't need treatment." Hearing this, Xian asks him 3 questions about himself. He cannot answer even one. Xian says, "This proves you need treatment." But when Guran still doesn't agree, Xian says, "Are you scared here?" To which Guran says, "No, it's nothing like that." Guran gives Jian a week and says, "By that time you have to complete your treatment and leave from here." After that, he gets busy with his work. Both make some rules like Guran cannot take a shower for more than 15 minutes, will use the same soap, and will stay away from Shuang because he is immune from her. Hearing this, Guran thinks all this is a bit too strict. But Shuang says, "If you want to get well, you will have to do all this." Then at lunchtime, Jian gives Guran a dish that he doesn't like. Guran takes one bite of it. Xian says, "If you don't like it, Shuang and I will eat it." Hearing this, he starts eating because he couldn't see Shuang eating with him. Shuang just keeps watching both of them, and these two quickly finish the whole dish as if a competition is going on. Then later, Shuang brings congee for Guran because she thought his stomach might have been upset after lunch. At first, he refuses, but as soon as Shuang says, "If you don't eat it, I will give it to Xian." So he takes it from her and starts eating. He also praises it. In the next scene, Shuang is washing dishes without gloves. Seeing this, Guran comes to her and says, "Your hands can get damaged like this?" To which Shuang says, "Dishes don't get cleaned properly with gloves." Hearing this, he goes to Shuang, turns off the tap and holds her hand. He says, "Holding hands is also part of the treatment." Just then, Xian comes and holds Guran's hand and says, "You should do all this with me too." Then Guran calls Dong and tells him to bring hand cream. Because he doesn't have knowledge about these things, he calls Wang and asks, "Which hand cream do you use?" At first, Wang gets happy because she thinks Dong is shopping for her. But as soon as he tells her that he is buying cream for someone else, she gets angry and cuts the call. After this, the next day when Guran is leaving for work, Xian asks Shuang, "Let's have lunch." Hearing this, Guran puts his shoes back and says, "I will work from home today," because he didn't want both of them to go for lunch in his absence. After this, when Guran is sitting at his desk working, his eyes fall on Xian, who is teaching Shuang how to make rice. Seeing this, he also doesn't miss a chance, and when Shuang is taking things out of the freezer, he also comes to get a bottle. Then, when she is about to mix eggs, he takes out an electric grinder for Shuang, and Xian takes out a manual grinder. Here, both start arguing about which grinder should be used. Fed up, Shuang starts mixing eggs with chopsticks. In the next scene, Shuang is looking at a photo of a cake. Xian asks her, "Why are you looking so intently?" So she tells, "Once my mom made me a cake, and after mom's death, I haven't eaten such a cake." Hearing this, he goes out and buys the same cake and also hides a note in it which says, "I like you." When he gives it to Shuang, the note falls there, which Shuang doesn't notice and starts eating the cake. While eating the cake, she gets lost in her mom's memories. She remembers that when she was little, her mother, despite financial difficulties, never let her feel the lack of anything. Remembering all this, she starts crying loudly. Just then, Guran comes there, who sees her crying, calms her down and asks, "Why are you crying?" Shuang tells, "I am missing my mom." Ran says, "If you want, you can go home and meet her." But Shuang tells, "My mom is no longer in this world," and she starts crying even louder. So Ran hugs her and tries to calm her down. Shuang says, "My mom was a kind and hardworking woman who helped everyone." Ran says, "If she were here today, she would be very proud of you because you are also like your mother." Ran, while talking to Shuang, kisses her hand and says, "I don't want an answer from you right now, but I hope that by now you have understood how important you are in my life." Jian is standing outside listening to all this, and he leaves because today he was also going to propose to Shuang. Here, Shuang shyly starts to go out, but Ran stops her, saying, "I like you." Shuang doesn't believe this. She says, "If you liked me, why were you behaving rudely from the beginning?" To which he says, "I had no intention of doing so." Still, Shuang cannot trust him. Just then, Ran kisses her and says, "I like you." He asks Shuang about her feelings, so she smiles and says, "I like you too," and both start kissing each other. After this, Shuang is lying on her bed and thinking about Ran. She can't believe that Ran said all this to her. The next morning, Ran is working when he gets a message from Xian, which says, "My training is over, so I will not come to Ran's house." Reading this, Ran goes to Shuang's room to wake her up, where she is still sleeping. He adjusts her blanket, but just then, Shuang wakes up. Seeing Ran in front of her, Shuang thinks, "I must be dreaming," so she starts pinching his cheeks. Just then, Ran also pinches her cheek and says, "This is not a dream." So Shuang realizes that all this is true. She shyly hides under the blanket. Then Ran tells her to get up. They brush their teeth together, where Ran notices that Shuang was not brushing properly, so he helps her. Then he puts a towel around her neck and cleans her face. On the other side, Junjie meets Xian and tells, "I have made a machine to detect feelings." He tests it on him. He first asks him, "Does Xian like ice cream?" So Xian says, "No." To which he asks, "I have seen you buying ice cream many times." Xian tells, "I bring it because of Shuang, because Shuang likes ice cream." Then he asks him different questions, but after the test is over, Jian explains to him, "If you love someone, there is no need to run after them. If they also love you, they will come themselves." In the next scene, Ran is packing for a trip. Shuang sees that he is packing so much sanitization stuff, so she asks, "Is Jian's treatment having any effect on you?" Then she reassures him, "We both will make you well." To which Ran tells her he has gone on some business trip. Hearing this, she feels strange. Ran says, "I also don't know what business trip he has gone on." Then when she is packing, she finds a notebook in Ran's closet in which notes to impress Shuang are written. Shuang reads all that and makes a lot of fun, and Ran forcibly snatches the notebook from her. On the other side, Wang in a live stream clarifies, "Ran and I are just friends, and I am single." After the live stream, Wang waits for Dong. She knows that Dong likes her, and he will definitely come to propose to her. Dong is just going towards Wang, but just then the police come and take him for questioning. On the other side, Ran gets a call from Dong, who tells him, "Due to an emergency, we will not be able to go on the trip." Ran tells this to Shuang, so she says, "If Dong is not going, I can go with you." Ran agrees. Here, the police ask Dong, "Why did the fight happen?" So he tells, "There was an argument over some post." On the other side, Ran and Shuang are in the car and, feeling hungry, they get roadside food. Ran refuses, but Shuang forcibly feeds him. Then, to visit this place the next day, both stay in a hotel. Going to the room, Ran notices that there is too much chlorine on the bed. He asks to change the room, but the staff refuses. At this point, Shuang comes and tells Ran, "I knew this would happen, so I had already sanitized my entire room beforehand." Ran thanks her. But when Shuang says, "I will sleep in your room," Ran stops her and tells her to watch a movie. Then they both watch a movie. While watching the movie, Shuang falls asleep. Ran starts watching her sleep. At this point, she wakes up, checks the time, and starts to leave, but Ran pulls her to sleep with him. She refuses, but then falls on the couch, and they both come very close to each other, and Ran kisses her, and they sleep together. Then, during breakfast the next morning, their laundry comes back. When Shuang wears her clothes, she notices that Ran is also wearing a t-shirt of the same design. Then, they both go to the aquarium, where Shuang has fun, and asks Ran to take her photos. Ran doesn't take good photos. Just then, a staff member helps them and clicks good couple photos. Then, after this, when both return to Ran's house, his mom is already there. Ran asks, "How did you get inside?" So she tells, "I have a duplicate key." Shuang thinks, "Now mom will give me money and tell me to stay away from Ran." But nothing like that happens. She had only come to meet Ran and says says nothing. After she leaves, Guran asks her, "Why are you so nervous?" So Shuang tells, "I am not ready to tell your parents yet." At this point, he comes very close to her. Just then, Mom comes back and, seeing both of them so close, asks, "Are you two in love?" Guran gets a little nervous and says, "I am not ready to tell everything yet." Mom holds his hand and says, "Why didn't you tell me before?" She praises Shuang and says, "I like that girl." Guran goes to drop his mom and says, "Shuang has changed my life." After this, Mom talks to Grandpa that Guran likes someone. Grandpa says, "I already knew because I had people keeping an eye on Guran." Mom doesn't like this at all. Grandpa says, "This relationship is not good for the family." To which Mom says, "Guran has the right to love whomever he wants." The next day, Grandpa goes to Guran's house and says, "What you are doing is not good for the family and company's image." Guran says, "I love Shuang." They both argue. Grandpa says, "Since childhood, you have only disappointed me." He leaves, and Guran becomes sad. Shuang tries to talk to him, but he refuses. He says, "I want to be alone for a while." Hearing this, Shuang feels very bad. After that, she gets a message from Junjie where he tells Dad has injured his foot, but he had forbidden telling Shuang about this. Hearing this, Shuang gets tensed and quickly reaches home. Because she didn't want to disturb Guran, she leaves a note for him and goes. Coming home, she sees that her dad has a fracture in his foot. Dad becomes happy seeing her. Shuang says, "Until you get well, I will stay here." Then later, Julian comes to Shuang's house to meet her, where Shuang tells her about Guran's behavior and says he shouldn't have done that. Because we are in a relationship, we should share everything, whether it's happiness or sorrow. But Julian explains to her, maybe Guran likes to be alone, so it's not his fault. Seeing Julian sad, Shuang asks her, "Why are you so confused?" So she says, "I have fallen in love with someone I shouldn't have." Shuang says, "If you are really in love, you should gather courage and tell that person everything." After that, Shuang meets Uncle Shi for lunch and asks him about Grandpa's relationship. So it turns out that their relationship was not good since childhood because Grandpa always wanted to make Guran the best. That's why he has faced a lot of pressure since childhood. On the other side, Guran goes to meet Dong in jail. Guran asks him, "Why didn't you tell the police about Wang?" So he says, "I didn't want to involve her in all this." After this, Guran goes to Shuang's house and says sorry for his behavior. Seeing him, Shuang says, "Next time, no matter what happens, sorrow or happiness, share everything with me." Guran, smiling, agrees to her. In the next scene, Guran, during a meeting in his company, announces, "I am starting a new manual department and calling back the old employees." Everyone is happy to hear this. On the other side, Shuang tells Guran to hide their relationship. She says, "I don't want people to treat me differently because I am Guran's girlfriend." Guran agrees to this. Then, coming home, she sees that Xian is having dinner with everyone. At dinner time, Xian asks Shuang, "How is Guran's condition?" Shuang says, "He is better than before. Now I can even go to the market with him and have lunch with college friends. I will try my best to make Guran well." Xian gets a little sad hearing all this. The next day, Shuang is going to the office when she meets Wang. She says, "Mr. Gu is very busy, and I haven't seen Dong for many days." In the next scene, it is shown that Dong has been released from jail. As soon as he comes out of the police station, he gets a message from Wang which she had sent at night. "If Dong doesn't confess his feelings in 10 minutes, I will change my mood." Reading the message when Dong comes out, Wang is there. Dong hugs her and says, "I was about to confess to you?" To which Wang says, "I was worried about you." Dong also says, "I used to think about you every day." Then he kisses her, and their love story begins. On the other side, Shuang and Guran return from shopping at the market. Outside the house, she kisses his cheek. Just then, Junji comes there and asks, "Are you two together?" Shuang says, "Guran is a good person. Don't judge him." Then she tells him about Zhuyan. She has been confused for a few days. When I met her, she was saying that she has fallen in love with someone she shouldn't have. Junji becomes happy hearing this. In the evening, Shuang is standing on a swing near the house. Xian sees her and thinks she is alone, so he takes ice cream and starts going towards her. But seeing Guran, he gets sad and leaves from there. Guran asks Shuang to kiss him on the cheek. Shuang says, "You do it first." When he does, she kisses him on the cheek, which is a very cute moment. Then both go on a date. Shuang tells Guran, "Win a toy from the toy machine." He tries but fails. Just then, he tells her he needs to go to the washroom and leaves from there. He washes his hands by rubbing them vigorously because his problem was still not fixed. So he thinks, "I should start my treatment again." On the other side, at a reunion dinner, Shuang meets her schoolmates. There they find out that Shuang works at Clean First Company, so everyone talks about Guran, that he is handsome and rich. Everyone asks, "Is he still single?" Shuang says, "I haven't told anyone about my relationship yet." In the next scene, Uncle Shi has come to meet Guran. He tells, "The workload of the manual cleaning department has increased, and we want to make someone a deputy team leader. Uncle Shi says, Shuang will be the best choice because she is hardworking and creative. Gu Ran agrees with him. On the other side, Shuang comes to her mom's grave where Xian is also there, and she finds out that she and Xian have known each other since childhood, which makes her very happy. From there, Shuang comes to Gu Ran's house, where he has brought that toy for her, which she wanted at the amusement park. Shuang tells him, I went to the graveyard and met Xian, where I found out that we are both childhood friends. Then Shuang, pinching his cheeks, says, You are lucky that you got people like Gu Ran. Gu Ran laughs and hugs her. Then, Gu Ran and Shuang go for dinner. On the way, Shuang tells her future plans that she wants to become a team leader. Then she jokingly says, I want to buy Gu Ran and take care of him. In the next scene, they are eating hot pot in a restaurant, and Gu Ran finds the sauce so spicy that he starts sweating. Shuang asks, Should I get the chili reduced? Gu Ran says, I have a better idea. He kisses her, then says, Now I am feeling good. Then the next day, it is announced in the company that a new deputy team leader has been selected. Everyone thinks that Zhao must have been selected, but Shuang is selected, upon which everyone is shocked. Shuang gets sad because some colleagues were not supporting her. After the meeting, Shuang goes to Gu Ran and asks, Why didn't you tell me before? Gu Ran says, This was not my decision. Uncle Shi decided this. Then Gu Ran says, They have given you this position trusting you, so don't break their trust. Shuang says, I will never disappoint them. On the other side, Junjie invites Juyan for dinner, but she comes to the restaurant with Shuang. So Shuang is surprised that Junjie had planned everything for her, violinists, flowers, etc. Shuang says, What was the need to do all this for a promotion? Then later, while eating at the table, Shuang's phone falls. When she is under the table to pick up the phone, she sees them holding hands, and she is very happy for both of them. The next day, Gu Ran closes Shuang's laptop in the office. Shuang asks, How can I win everyone's trust when I have no experience? Gu Ran says, I will tell you everything when I get a treat. Shuang takes him to eat cake. Gu Ran likes the cake very much. Then Gu Ran tells her, You will have to talk respectfully with senior employees. The next day, Shuang talks nicely to everyone as Gu Ran had told her, which also changes Zhao's behavior. Shuang goes to his office and says, Your idea worked. Gu Ran says, Now it's time to say thanks. And for thanks, he asks her to kiss him. When Shuang kisses him, Gu Ran pulls her and makes her sit on his lap. Hu sees all this. He goes and tells Dong too, but he says, I don't feel anything like that. After this, Gu Ran drops Shuang home. So she tells him not to be so close in the office and says goodbye to him, and leaves. The next day in the office, people are talking that maybe Gu Ran is in a relationship. Shuang smiles hearing their talk, but when everyone says that the girl Gu Ran will love will be rich and classy, hearing all this, Shuang gets sad and starts leaving the table. Gu Ran hears all this from a distance. Seeing her leave from there, he holds her hand and brings her in front of everyone, and says, I have liked you for a long time, and we are in a relationship. Hearing this, everyone is shocked, and no one can believe it. On the other side, Shuang's dad is coming home with vegetables. Just then, a man comes to him and stops him, saying, Someone wants to meet you. He takes them near the car in which Gu Ran's grandpa is sitting. He tells Dad, I am Gu Ran's grandpa. Hearing this, Dad gets happy and says, Shuang always talks about Gu Ran, how ambitious he is. But Grandpa says, I have come here to talk about something important. Gu Ran and Shuang's relationship is not good for our family because people think that Shuang loves Gu Ran not for himself, but for his status. Dad doesn't like this at all. He says, I am sure that Gu Ran himself must have approached Shuang, and if you have a problem with this relationship, you should talk to Gu Ran, not me. And Dad angrily leaves from there. On the other side, Shuang is getting ready to go on a date with Gu Ran. Before leaving, her dad pretends to be in pain. Seeing this, she starts looking for medicine for him and tells Gu Ran, Dad's health has deteriorated, so the date will have to be cancelled. When she tells Dad to go to the doctor, he says, I am fine now, and there is no need for a doctor. And he asks her about her relationship with Gu Ran, so she asks, How did you find out all this? So Dad tells her about the conversation with Grandpa and says, I don't want Shuang to go on a date with Gu Ran because there is no similarity between them. Hearing all this, Shuang goes to her room. Then at night, Shuang tries to leave the house, but Dad catches her. When he asks, Shuang says, I was just going to get a blanket. And she starts watching TV so that when Dad falls asleep, she can leave. Dad knows this, so he stays awake for a long time. In the morning, someone knocks on the door. When she sees Gu Ran has come, she tells him to leave from there, but Gu Ran says, I have come to meet Uncle. But Shuang closes the door, but Dad hears Gu Ran's voice and talks to him. He tells him, Stop meeting Shuang. Gu Ran tries to explain to them, but Dad doesn't listen to him and pushes him out, causing him to sprain his back. Gu Ran, to help him, first wears gloves, seeing which Dad thinks he doesn't want to help. Just then, Xian comes there and tells Gu-ran has a disease because of which he has to wear gloves first. But Dad doesn't listen to anything and tells him to leave from there, and he tells him whatever his grandpa had said. Hearing this, he's about to go talk to Grandpa, but Shuang stops him. In the next scene, Gu-ran, while calling someone, says, I have found out my fiancé's finger size, and I want a ring just like the one we saw yesterday, meaning Gu-ran is planning to propose to Shuang. On the other side, Xian has come to meet Shuang, but at that time, Shuang is in the washroom, so Xian sits on the sofa and starts looking at an album which has Gu-ran's childhood photos. This is the same photo that Gu-ran's mom had given to Shuang. Here, Xian notices that Gu-ran's grandpa's driver looks exactly like the person who caused Shuang's mom's accident. Seeing this, he keeps the photo with him. When Shuang comes back, he happily starts showing her childhood photos from the album. On the other side, Zhang is on a call where he also finds out that the person responsible for Shuang's mom's accident was Gu-ran's grandpa's driver. On the other side, Gu-ran and Dong are watching an intense drama in which the lead female is playing with snow. Gu-ran asks Shuang, do girls like winters? Poor Dong doesn't understand anything. Just then, Dong calls Gu-ran, babe. So Gu-ran says, why did you call me that? To which Dong says, when the girl in the drama says babe, the boy gets happy. Just then, Shuang's call comes. So Gu-ran asks her, which is your favorite season? So she says, winter. Then he slowly says, can you call me babe? Shuang feels strange hearing this, but when she starts calling him baby, Junji comes there and she cuts the call. The next day, Gu-ran calls Junji and Juyeon to the company. They are sitting in his office when Dong also comes there. Everyone sits down. Then Gu-ran says, I am going to propose to Shuang. Hearing this, Junji and Juyeon are both surprised. Gu-ran, along with everyone, makes a plan on how to propose. Juyeon and Junji's options are not matching, so both start fighting. Upon which Gu-ran understands that he won't get much help from them, so he uses his own brain. After meeting Gu-ran, Juyeon goes straight to Shuang and gives her a white dress, telling her, I bought this for myself, but it didn't fit me. That dress looks very good on Shuang, so Juyeon gives her the dress. On the other side, Gu-ran and Dong go to choose a location. Gu-ran likes the place because cleanliness was also taken care of there, so they finalize this location. After they leave, Jong comes there and tells the manager, I am Gu-ran's assistant. Jong finds out here that Gu-ran is going to propose to Shuang. On the other side, Xian meets the driver's son who caused Shuang's mom's accident. He finds out that Gu-ran's grandpa had caused the accident and, to save his reputation, had blamed the driver. Xian is shocked to hear this. Then he goes to Shuang's house, but she is not at home. When Shuang comes home, Junjie leaves them alone. Xian asks Shuang about Gu-ran, so she says, his health is fine now, and he is busy with some secret project. Xian wanted to tell the truth, but seeing Shuang happy with Gu-ran, he remains silent. In the next scene, Juyeon calls Shuang and asks her to go to a venue where she has VIP passes. She tells her, wear the same dress I gave you. On the other side, Dong is at the resort where Gu-ran is going to propose. Junjie and Juyeon are also helping him with the decoration. At night, Juyeon reaches the venue and brings Shuang to the stage and leaves her. Then Wang comes there, who puts a crown on her and hands her flowers. Shuang doesn't understand anything. Just then, everyone comes and gives a welcome performance. At this point, Gu-ran enters, dressed in a white suit, and proposes to Shuang. When she is about to say yes, Jiang comes there with the driver's son. He says, Shuang's mom's accident was caused by Gu-ran's grandpa. Everyone is shocked. The driver's son also shows evidence. Shuang starts to leave from there, so Gu-ran stops her, but she doesn't stop. Coming home, she starts crying in front of her mom's photo. On the other side, Gu-ran goes to his grandpa and asks the truth. Hearing all this, his mom is also shocked. Gu-ran's grandpa denies everything. Just then, some officers also come for investigation. Then the next morning, Gu-ran goes to Shuang's house, but she doesn't open the door. He says, I didn't do all this. But Shuang says, you are part of the family that killed my mom. Gu-ran, crying, tells her, I can't live without you. Shuang also starts crying, hearing him cry, but doesn't open the door. Then, going home and taking a shower, Gu-ran gets emotional remembering his past moments. The next day, he sits on Shuang's chair in the office and starts missing her, and at off time, all employees leave. But Gu-ran is sitting alone in the office. Just then, Dong comes and says, it's quite late, let's go home. Things get a bit blurry for Gu-ran, and he falls. On the other side, Shuang is also sitting sad and hungry. Junjae brings food for her and says, you're not a child anymore, you will fight for your mom. At his words, Shuang bursts into tears. Then, Junjae calms her down. On the other side, Gu-ran's condition is really quite bad. He is busy spraying sanitizer all over his room. Just then his mom comes and says, don't do that. But Gu-ran says, the room is dirty. Whereas there is nothing like that. His mental state has deteriorated considerably. The next day, Jian comes to meet him. He says, you shouldn't work in this condition. But Gu-ran says, I am responsible for my condition myself. And why have you come here? Jian says, I am your psychologist, and right now, you need me the most. In the next scene, Shuang goes to meet Gu-ran. So Gu-ran hugs her from behind and says, I want to see you. Shuang frees her hand and stands facing him. Gu-ran starts smiling, seeing her face. Shuang says, I have only come to meet you for the last time because meeting repeatedly will only hurt you. Gu-ran says, from now on, I will do my treatment from home and will remain isolated from everyone. Therefore, I want Shuang to handle the manual department. Shuang gets emotional hearing this. Then Gu-ran goes closer to her and says, even when I am not in the office, you have to keep working and stay happy. After this, he kisses her and leaves from there. The next day, Gu-ran comes to the office and takes back all his belongings. After this, in Gu-ran's absence, everyone tries to manage the company together. On the other side, Gu-ran's health is not good. He's not able to sleep properly. Seeing his condition, his mom is very tense. So she asks John, what is the matter? So he says, it might be the effect of the medicine. As he gets better, the pain will reduce, and he will be able to sleep. Gu-ran listens to Shuang's recorded voice note before sleeping so that he can sleep, and he feels good listening to it. In the next scene, Dong talks to Xian on the phone and finds out how bad Gu-ran's condition is. He gives all this information to Shuang in a report. Seeing all this, Shuang also gets tensed. She feels that Gu-ran's condition is really bad. The next day, when Gu-ran is not at home, Shuang goes to his house. Going there, she sees that Gu-ran has covered all the furniture because there was no one to clean. Shuang starts cleaning the whole house. Then when Gu-ran comes home and sees everything clean, he is shocked. At first, he doesn't understand who cleaned, but when he sees from the CCTV, he finds out that Shuang had come to clean. He becomes happy seeing this. At night, he tries to sleep with the toy he had bought for Shuang, and after many days, he gets a good sleep. On the other side, Shuang is giving a presentation in a company. Everyone likes her presentation very much, and everyone praises her. Just then, she sees a glimpse of Gu-ran and goes out to see him, and she is just about to go on the road, but Gu-ran holds her hand. He says, you shouldn't be so careless. When she asks, what have you come here for? He says, I just wanted to see if you are happy or not. Seeing your presentation, I am convinced that you are happy. Hearing this, Shuang leaves, but then turns back and says, Gu-ran should also be happy. Saying this, she leaves, and Gu-ran starts following her. Like this, he comes to the outside of her house, and until she goes inside, Gu-ran keeps watching her. After that, he leaves from there without saying anything. In the next scene, Zhen and Gu-ran both decide that they will find out for real if Gu-ran's grandpa had caused Shuang's mother's accident. Both go to meet the driver's son and ask about that day. The driver's son says, I wasn't even in the car that day. Gu-ran asks, then how did you find out that grandpa caused the accident? He tells, my mother herself told me all this. Hearing this, both go to meet his mother, who lived in a slum area. In the dirty environment there, Gu-ran's health starts deteriorating. She makes tea for them, but Gu-ran's health worsens seeing the tea. Then he says, let's leave from here now. On the other side, Shuang wants to message Gu-ran that she has won the summit but cannot. Then Xian says, you should tell him. He calls, but Gu-ran already knows. In the next scene, Gu-ran goes to talk to the driver's wife alone. The woman says, your repeated visits are not good. Gu-ran says, when I came for the first time, I gave you money. The woman says, I don't know anything about money. Then Gu-ran tells her, your son is threatening you for money. The woman feels sad hearing this. The woman tells that grandpa had nothing to do with the accident. He is a good person. He had given pension money, but her daughter squandered that money. Then she agrees to help Gu-ran. On the other side, Shuang is celebrating with everyone, but is not happy. Then Gu-ran sends her a video in which the driver's wife's confession is there. Shuang recognizes the place and goes there to meet Gu-ran. Then they both hug each other, but Gu-ran faints. And then everyone takes him to the hospital. Gu-ran's mom and Xian also arrive there. When Gu-ran regains consciousness, Shuang is with him. He tells her to stay, so Shuang says, I am not going anywhere. Both apologize to each other and promise that they will never leave each other alone again. Then they both kiss each other. In the next scene, when Gu-ran comes home, Shuang asks, have you not celebrated your birthday since childhood? Gu-ran remembers his childhood where grandpa never came on time. He says, after getting sick, I stopped celebrating birthdays. Shuang says, this time we will celebrate your birthday at the place where you spent your childhood, Grandpa's house. He agrees. Then Shuang and Gu-ran reach Grandpa's house on birthday. Everyone cooks food for him there, but Gu-ran is not eating. Then Shuang gives him chopsticks, but he doesn't eat. His mom cries and apologizes, saying, I want you to get well. And then Grandpa tells Gu-ran, you did a good job, and appreciates him for the first time. And he shows him a box in which his childhood things are there. Guran gets emotional. Grandpa says, "These old things are of no use, but they all mean a lot to you." After dinner, Shuang and Guran are going to Shuang's house because Guran wanted to talk to her dad. As soon as they both reach outside the house, they see Grandpa apologizing to Shuang's dad. He shakes hands with him and says, "Sorry for my behavior." Shuang and Guran are quietly watching them. Guran feels bad seeing this because he had always considered his grandpa arrogant, but he was not like that at all. After Grandpa leaves, both go inside the house where everyone is in a tense atmosphere and no one is ready to talk. Guran starts the conversation first and says, "Sorry" to Dad. Because his grandpa had already explained everything, he is not angry at Guran and says, "Promise me you will never make Shuang sad and will always take care of her." Junjae also tells him, "If you trouble Shuang, I will not spare you." Then Dad puts Shuang's hand in Guran's hand and tells him, "Take care of her." Seeing all this, tears of joy come to Shuang's eyes. Then everyone has dinner together. Just then, Zhuyan also comes for dinner. When everyone is at the dinner table, Dad also talks to Zhuyan about her marriage. He says, "You have become marriageable, and if you like any boy, you can tell." Dad says, "I know a boy who will be perfect for you." Junjae thinks that he will take his name, but he takes Shan's name, which Junjae doesn't like at all. So he suddenly gets up and says, "I am Zhuyan's boyfriend, and I will take care of her." Upon which Dad's mouth remains wide open. On the other side, Shuang takes Guran out and says, "Everyone should be left alone. They will handle it themselves." Then she tells Guran, "I have prepared a gift for you." She asks Guran to close his eyes and takes him near a bridge. As soon as Guran opens his eyes, he sees that Shuang has decorated the entire bridge. Shuang has brought a cake for him and wishes him that they both stay together for their whole lives. When Guran is about to cut the cake, Shuang whispers in his ear, "I love you." Hearing this, he hugs her. After this, Guran and Shuang are at home. So Guran takes her phone and says, if Shuang wants her phone back, she will have to answer my questions. He asks, "If I were not in your life, would Shuang date someone else?" Shuang laughs and starts thinking. Guran doesn't like this. Then Shuang asks, "Did you date anyone before me?" Guran tells, "I had an ex-girlfriend who was quite slim and liked cleanliness." Shuang starts feeling jealous. Just then, Guran says, "I was talking about my robot Topix." He says, "Shuang's arrival has changed my life." Then, Guran gives Shuang an address and says, "Go there." Shuang reaches the address, but no one is there. Just then, she sees a hot air balloon in which a man is cleaning. Shuang calls out to him, but he doesn't hear. When she goes near him, she sees that the man is Guran himself. Guran says, "I am safe, and I know how to fly a hot air balloon." Then, both enjoy the sunset, and Guran tells her, "I want to spend every day of my life with Shuang." He proposes to her with a ring. Shuang says, "Yes," and he puts the ring on her finger and kisses her. And with this happy moment, the drama ends.